This is hard for a lot of people to handle. We like the idea of a God of love, a God that pardons, a God that forgives, but we don't like a God of justice. We don't like a God that says the wages of sin is death. We don't like to read about things like this happening, but here it is in the Bible reminding us that God hates sin and it cannot be tolerated. It must be dealt with swiftly lest it spread and do even more harm. The Bible compares sin to leaven, which is basically yeast, a rising agent in bread. It spreads quickly. We could also compare sin to cancer. You want to find it early and deal with it lest it metastasize and spread through the rest of your body. It's hard for us to fathom a God of judgment in these days of political correctness. Some would even see the God of wrath in the Old Testament and the God of love in the New Testament. But the same God who is both just and loving is in both testaments of the Bible. For the Lord says in Malachi 3:6, I am the Lord and I do not change. And you would not want it any other way. But here's something to think about. Some would say, well, I don't believe in a judgmental God. I believe in a God of love. Well, that may be true, that that's what you believe. But I must tell you that the God you are worshiping is not real. In other words, he's not the true God. As Voltaire once wrote, quote, God made man in his image and man returned the favor, end quote. In Kyoto, Japan, is something called the Temple of 1,000 Buddhas. And apparently what they have in this temple are various depictions of the Buddha carved out of stone. And each one is different than the other. And so the idea is that a worshiper can go through this temple, find the Buddha that most closely resembles them, and worship him. And that is exactly what we do when we say, my God would never do thus and so. Or I agree with this part of the Bible, but I don't agree with that part. When you do that, you are doing something that is really no different in effect than what the Israelites were doing when they had their golden calf. You are making a God after your own image instead of worshiping the true God of the Bible.